Easter is one of the most important holidays of the entire year. Hey Bestie, this is Lisa. Welcome or welcome back. I've got 28 Dollar Tree Easter crafts for you. Some of them are spiritual and some are just for fun, but I know you're going to love it. Beautiful florals from Dollar Tree, and then I also have this awesome decal, an 8x10 frame from the Dollar Tree. What I'm going to do is take the frame apart, just take all the pieces out completely. I'm going to look at the glass and see where I might want to place my decal, and then I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to work on the frame. I have this drop cloth and it made me think of like the shroud that Jesus' body was wrapped in, so I decided to cut some strips. So you just kind of cut a little bit at the top and then rip, and I did that to quite a few of them. So there we go. And then I want to paint the frame so that if you see through it, you can't tell it's gold. So I got the warm buff from Apple Barrel, and look how close it is to the color of the drop cloth. First, I'm going to put a little Mod Podge on there so that the paint will stick. And I'm going to use my heat tool from Amazon to dry that because I have no patience. I'm just going to go ahead and paint the frame front and back. And that's perfect. So if there's any gaps in the drop cloth, that will look good then. So now I'm just going to take my little snips and pull out those little pieces that hold the glass in. Now I'm going to figure out how big the pieces I need for each of the corners. So I cut that size out. I used my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue, which is perfect for this. And I'm just going to go ahead, glue that around the corner and figure out how long I need it to be. I'm going to cut a little like kind of upside down V there so that it won't be too much fabric in the corner. And then I'll just tack that down with a little more glue. And I'm going to do all 4 corners, and then I will work on the rest of the frame. Next, I'm going to figure out what size piece I need for each of the sides, you know, the little pieces. I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of them using the first one that I cut kind of as template. And then I'm just going to start laying down the glue and putting them on the top, and I'll do them all in a row, and then I will turn it over and I'll start gluing the back. And that kind of makes it go faster, almost like a little bit of an assembly line. Turn it over, add some glue to the back, and then I'll just start pushing the edges down right there. Super easy, and it just works really well, and that glue is perfect for this. And I'm trying to leave a little gap so that the glass will go back inside there. And so there's one side, and now there's all the sides. And now I've got my greenery. I'm just going to snip some little pieces off. What I want to do is in the top left and the bottom right corner, I just want to make a little arrangement with the lavender, the greenery, and those little yellow flowers. I'm just going to hot glue them in place, and I think that's going to be really beautiful. Then I had this idea to take a little piece of the drop cloth, cut some kind of wavy pattern on the top, and roll it up, glue it to itself, and then make like little drop cloth flowers, and they'll sit right in the center where those 2 pieces meet so you can't see the hot glue. And I did that to the top corner and the bottom corner, and I think it's actually pretty cute. Next, I'm going to set my piece of glass up on these 2 little containers, and I'm going to use my glass cleaner and just get it nice and clean. I'm going to use my little scraper tool to burnish, make sure that the decal is really on there good so that when I pull off the backing, it will be ready to transfer. Then there's the transfer tape that So now I'm laying it down in the center of the glass and I'm burnishing it again. And then I'm just going to pull up that transfer paper and look, there it is. Isn't that beautiful? I thought that was the cutest little transfer too. I absolutely love it. And so now I'm just going to put it face down inside the frame. And then I'm going to add some of that glue again to kind of the corners and the middles and push it in. And then I'm going to take some little clamps I have from the Dollar Tree and put them on each of the 4 sides to hold it in place. I love this picture so much. It might be my favorite from this video. You'll definitely have to tell me what you think.
House hack. I've got the taller of the houses, and I just love these houses. They're like little shadow boxes. I've got these 4 round beads, which I did not end up using after all on this one. And then I've got this wooden cross from the Crafter's Square section and some beautiful scrapbook paper that I found at Hobby Lobby. This is kind of a coastal mix. So I'm going to trace the shape of the house on the back of the scrapbook paper. That way you won't ever see the pencil, even if I cut in such a way that it's left behind. And anyway, this is going to be too big because of the little rim around the edging of that shadow box. So I'm going to try to draw a line on the inside a little bit and see if I can make this closer to a fit. Of course, I'm going to have to tweak it. It just never fails, but that's okay. You just do it until you get it to the shape you want. I'm going to paint the Mod Podge on the inside. I'm going to start just at the top and get the top of that piece of scrapbook paper adhered. Then I will slowly go all the way down and finish the rest. I like to get part of it adhered first. It just makes it easier to hold it in place. And so there I am, just finishing it. I actually feel like I did do a pretty decent job of getting the size on this one, but just to cover up any possible issues, I added a piece of twine around the inside edges, which you will see here in just a moment. First, I'm going to cover the whole paper with the Mod Podge. I do like to seal that in whenever possible. Isn't that a gorgeous print? I love their scrapbook paper. But now I'm going to take the hot glue and I'm just going to get this rope and put it in there, or twine. I believe I got this particular one at Walmart. They had a really good deal. They often have the best deal that I found on like rope and twine. So if you're at Walmart, you might want to check that out. I'm just going to cut it off once I get the whole thing lined, and that completely gives it more of a coastal look, and it covers up any flaws in how I cut out that piece of scrapbook paper. Now I'm going to take the cross and I'm going to cover it with some burlap. I believe I did get the burlap from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to trim off the edges of the burlap and try to get a piece that's pretty close to the size of what I want on there. Then I'll hot glue that down. I'm going to cut another piece and do the horizontal piece of the cross the same exact way. Now you see there's excess left there. I didn't get an exact cut. I could have been more precise. I'm just going to take my scissors and go around the edges, and then I'll take a blade and cut off any of the excess. I don't mind if there's like a little bit of kind of the edges of the burlap hanging over. I think that really adds to the coastal kind of rustic look that I'm going for. Just be careful with your blades. Now I'm going to take this cross and I'm just going to hot glue it directly into the house. I'm going to use a generous amount of hot glue because I want to make sure it stays, but you can use any kind of glue that you want. I'm going to take some of the eucalyptus greenery that I got from Amazon. I'm just going to cut off some little pieces and hot glue it into the bottom of this house. I'm loving this look. I think this is beautiful. All of the coastal pieces that I make will go in my bedroom, or I'll give them away if I don't have a place for them. I just love doing this kind of thing. I love the coastal look. It's so pretty, and to me, it's very peaceful. What is your favorite look? Like, what makes you feel the happiest, the most peaceful? You know, and a lot of times it's where you want to go on a vacation. So, of course, I love the beach, so that's going to make me feel happy. Anyway, I love how it turned out. You'll have to let me know what you think. For this contact paper hack, I've got this beautiful contact paper. It's like a bunch of different colors with blues and greens and gray. And then I've got these little ends of socks that I had used for a previous project. I'm going to remove those little pieces of wood that are kind of over the top of the bunny carefully because I want to use them again. Now I'm just going to trace the bunny on the back of the contact paper so that we have a nice base for this bunny. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. I'm going to turn the bunny over because otherwise it will be the wrong direction from how I traced it. And just starting at one end, remove the back of the contact paper and slowly pull it out. And then I will just put it over the top of the bunny till it covers the whole thing. Then I'll take my sanding sponge and in a downward motion go around the edges that I can. And look how clean and nice that edge is. It's my favorite way to remove paper and things like that. Then I just took it X-Acto knife and cut out the rest. Now I'm going to make a quick hanger just using the metal piece from a clothespin and some twine, put it through the little coily part, make a knot, and I'll just glue it on, add a little masking tape as well under the glue, and that's it. Nice, secure hanger. You see me do this so many times. Now I'm going to take the inside of the ear that I took off, and I'm going to use this fake wood kind of contact paper and just put it over the top and glue it back onto the ear. I thought that looked really cool. There's this round sign from the Dollar Tree, and I just want the eggs from it. I'll use that round piece for some other project. So now I'm going to take that wood contact paper, and I'm going to put all of the eggs on there. There's 3 of them. And then I'm just going to cut that out, and then I'll sand around the edges just like I did before and get a nice clean edge. And now all of my eggs look like they are wood. I'll glue them on just the way I want to see them on there. You can do this any way you want. And then I'll replace those little bows I took off. Why not use them? They're super cute and they're the right colors for like an Easter spring craft. So now I'm going to take those little sock ends and I'm going to wrap it around the bunny's tail. So I just used one of them. I wasn't sure if I needed both, but I'll glue that on, wrap it around, and then add a little extra piece in the back so you can't see any of the wood. I thought this would be a really cute way. You could also make a pom-pom if you want. So this was just something I had from a previous project. I thought, why not use it up? I keep all these scraps, so it made sense to try to use them. Now I'm just going to glue that right back on to the little bunny. And that's it. This was so cute and easy. I really love this one. Very pretty. You can hang it up or just lean it, whatever you want. Let me know what you think. For this Dollar Tree glass trivet hack, I'm going to take a round trivet and some fabric that I got at Walmart. Now, there's a lot of scriptures and things on here, and what I'm trying to do is figure out one that will fit on this round thing. But first, I want to take the little legs off. So I'm going to take a little, like, mini spatula. They come right off. You just kind of push it under, and they're very adhesive. So I set them aside to use them to put back on later. Now I'm going to use Goo Gone and get rid of all the gooey stuff, and then rub a little alcohol over it to clean that up and get rid of the greasy part. That works very well to get rid of adhesive. And there it is. We're putting the fabric on the back. That's why we needed to do that. So again, I'm searching for just the right piece that will fit on there without other words showing. And I found it. So we're just going to cut out around this, and then I will trace the circle and then cut that out more carefully. And I love this scripture, of course. You know, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And everybody knows that part of the scripture, but no one comes to the Father except by me. That's the beautiful part. All right, I'm going to add some Mod Podge to the back, which is that smooth side that we removed the little legs from. I'm going to do it in sections. It's easier. And then I'm just going to put the fabric face down on that glass and then put the Mod Podge on the rest of it and then lay it down. And the reason we put it face down is because we're going to see it from the other side. And then I'm going to use my brayer to help flatten it. And then I'm going to add another coat of Mod Podge over the top. I want to seal this as much as possible. I'm going to dry that off with my heat tool. Also got that from Amazon in case you're interested. And there it is. Of course, I have excess to trim around the sides, which I'm going to do with my scissors. And if you just hold your scissors up against that glass, it does work very well. I didn't want to use like an X-Acto knife or anything because I thought it might pull the fabric. So now I decided I'm going to add one more layer of Mod Podge on the back. I just really want to make sure that that fabric is nicely sealed on there. I'm going to take some Fix All adhesive glue and put those little feet back on, and that works perfectly for this. Now I want to use this to put, like maybe jewelry or something, just set it on there. So I'm going to put a flower on there on the top with some greenery that I think just looks beautiful. And then I'm going to add a little bit of little flowers and greenery on the bottom because I just thought that really dressed this up. So I could just see this on a nightstand or on a dresser, and you drop your earrings there, your rings or whatever at night. Just a nice place to set them, for a short-term thing. Or you could use this for whatever you want. I think it's beautiful. You could put a hanger on the back and hang it up, but I'm going to lay mine down. You'll have to let me know what you think. I think it's beautiful, and I love the scripture, so much truth.
Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you. Every soul.
For this Dollar Tree contact paper hack, I'm going to take this wooden round from the Dollar Tree, which is super cute just the way it is, but I'm going to use the back side. I'm going to cut off the carrots. We will use the carrots, just not on that part of the sign the way they did it. This way we'll have a two-sided sign. How's that? We won't waste it. I'm also going to remove the hanger for while I'm doing this, and I'm going to sand down any of the rough edges from where those carrots were stapled on. Now I'm going to trace this circle onto the back side of this beautiful orange and white gingham contact paper. I love this one. And then I will cut just enough, to get rid of the large pieces, because we can just do our little sanding trick and go around the edges once it's attached. It's so much easier than trying to place something very perfectly. I have trouble with that. So we'll just take off the top part and start carefully removing the bottom and smooth it out, and then just pull it all the way across. And there I go, sanding off the edges to get that nice clean look. And there it is, all ready to go. And there's the other side of the sign if we did want to use it. Now I'm going to poke a hole back where those holes are to get the hanger back in. And you can't see it, so I wanted to do it real quickly, make sure I get that hanger in there, because I love the beads on the twine for a hanger. That is such a cute thing. And if you didn't have one already, they're so easy to make. Now we're going to place our carrots on the bottom. I'm just going to position them where I want and then hot glue them in place. If you didn't have the carrots, they would also be pretty easy to make out of foam board, or if you have a wood laser cutting machine, you could, or possibly find some at the craft store. I've got this placemat, and I'm just going, I think this was from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just going to cut out the part where it says, enjoy the little things, and I'll just kind of make it a nice little shape to fit on the sign. Couldn't make a perfect circle, so I just kind of rounded the edges of a little bit of a rectangle. And I'm just going to hot glue that right to the center of the sign. I thought that was really cute. And I think that the color in the background kind of complements the greenery on the carrots. So I thought that matched really well. Now I've got this really cute little white greenery. I got this at Walmart. They really have great greenery. If you haven't checked it out, you really should. The prices are really good as well. And I'm just going to put that around where the hole is for the hanger on both sides. Just kind of dress up the top a little bit. And that is all there is to this one. It was so easy. You do have a double-sided sign now. And I just love that contact paper. You'll have to let me know what you think, and if you would want to try something like this. For this Jenga block DIY, we're going to use 22 blocks. And what we're going to make is a cross out of the space between the blocks. All of these rows will have 3, but they'll be placed in a way that exposes a cross. So I showed you in the very beginning in case you want to screenshot that or freeze it. And then I'm just going to start gluing each row together with the hot glue. I decided to only use hot glue for this one. I'm going to try doing that and see if that works just as well as what I used to do with 2 different kinds of glue, because I've had other people say that theirs have held really well with just glue, hot glue, so I thought, let's try it. So now I'm going to start placing these pieces that I have already glued together to the top piece above them. And like I said, creating a space for what will look like a cross. I think this is so appropriate for Easter time. We know that the cross is so important in the scheme of things because Jesus died on the cross for our sins and to save us. So this to me is a very important kind of a project. And I think it's going to just turn out beautiful. So I'm continuing to assemble and glue the pieces that make the cross. And because I laid it out ahead of time, I know what I was going to do. So that's important to have a plan for these Jenga block projects because you are building something. It's like playing with blocks, you know? I think that's why it's so much fun. It takes us back to our childhood. And now I'm just going to attach the last piece that completes the shape of the cross. I think this is turning out beautiful. Now it needs a stand, so I'm going to take 4 more blocks, glue each of the 2 sets together at the short end, and then I will attach them to the very bottom of the cross. And this is such an easy thing to do and a great way to make a stand. Now off camera, I took my antique wax and I just went ahead and put that all over this piece, and I forgot that the camera was off. So I just want to let you know, it's just easy. I just painted it on. I didn't even rub any off because I wanted the dark rustic look for this one. I thought that would be really, really pretty. And there it is, completely assembled. You'll have to let me know what you think. I think it turned out beautiful. It's rustic and it was very easy to make. For this Dollar Tree foam board hack, I'm going to draw some little lines to guide me. I'm going to be drawing an egg. So I thought if I did a top and a bottom and then a little bit wider in the top third and then kind of connect them. So you can see I made quite a mess of it, but I did finally get a shape that I think looks like an egg, and I'm going to use my blade to cut it out. And again, anything that doesn't come through on the back, I'll just score it again with the blade and make sure it's a nice line. Now I'm going to freehand a bunny. I am looking at a picture. I can't do this without a picture. So if you need to do this with one, or if you want to get something and trace it, that's also fine. And you notice I go over the lines and correct them, and that's okay. This is all going to be covered with this antique wax by Waverly. Now we're going to be using Spanish moss, but I don't want the white underneath it showing, so I'm going to use that antique wax first. That way, no matter what, you'll see dark underneath that bunny, and then I use the white wax on the background. I'm going to take this beautiful jute twine that I got at Walmart. It's my favorite place to get this thickness, and they have the best price, so that's why I get it there. And I'm going to hot glue it all the way around the edge. And doesn't that look pretty? I love it. And then we're going to make a jute hanger. So I'll just put these on with hot glue and a piece of masking tape, and it'll work perfectly as a hanger.
I watch you as you drive.
Now I'm just going to make a cute little shoestring bow to put at the very top of the egg. This is going to be a very rustic piece. So I know a lot of you love rustic, so I think this will become a favorite for many. We'll trim that bow and just tack down the ends of it so it doesn't get in the way of the bunny ears. Now I'm going to use my Aleene's Tacky Glue. I am not as much a fan of hot glue when I do moss like this because it just sticks in one spot then. And I want this to stick over the whole thing. So I'm cutting smaller little sections of the Spanish moss and pushing it on the Aleene's Tacky Glue, which does dry pretty fast. And I'm going to do the whole bunny. Now I'm going to go around with this little scissors that I have, and I'm just going to trim all the edges. And there you go. Look how nice that looks. And that's why I painted the antique wax underneath. And I've got these 3 ribbons from Dollar Tree. This chevron one is wired. I'm going to fold it into 4 ribbons. I already have 2 ends folded. And I'm just going to cut it out. Now we're going to make like a fussy bow. So we're going to crisscross the 4 pieces. Then I'm going to take one of the other ribbons, and I'm only going to cut 2 of this one and just crisscross those. And then the lace ribbon with burlap, I'll cut 2 and crisscross those. I do want to dovetail the ends of the thicker bow by folding the ends in half and cutting a triangle up from the bottom towards the center, and I'll do that on both ends. The other 2 ribbons, we're not going to do that. They're just very small. Now we'll do our crisscrossing again and assemble this bow. And I'm going to take a piece of twine, a very thin one, put it over the top, flip the messy bow so I'm on the back. And then I'm going to tie as tight of a knot as I can to cinch this bow. Make sure it's in the center. That's the other thing. Sometimes they wiggle around. Once I get that tied, I'm going to snip off any excess twine, and I'll kind of fluff the bow. Make sure all the pieces are pulled out so we can see them. And then I'm just going to hot glue in the center and put that right on my bunny. And I decided to kind of put it on the bunny's front chest. I looked through my button stash and I found a beautiful big black button. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the bow with hot glue, and that's it. This was so fun and easy, and it turned out, I think, just beautiful. Let me know what you think.
Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season.
For this Dollar Tree decal project, I've got this beautiful decal that says let go and let God. I've got a wooden piece from the Dollar Tree and my Rust-Oleum chalked linen white paint. I'm going to sand all around this entire piece. They're a little rough. I'm going to go ahead and just paint the front and the edges in the white paint. And I do 2 coats. Now I'm going to make a hanger using the metal part from a clothespin and a little piece of twine. Just like you've seen me do before, I'm going to put it through that coily part and hot glue it down and add a piece of masking tape at the end for additional security. It just works really well to do this. Now I'm going to take the decal. It's a little large for this piece, so I'm going to cut 3 pieces. I'm going to cut the and the let go and the let God out separately. That way I can place them exactly where I want them. So we'll start with the and because it's the middle part, and this will help me balance it. Just going to rub that on there, and then I'll go with the let go part. I love this saying so much because it's so true. We try to be God and hold on to everything when He's there the whole time, ready to just be there for us. So this is a good reminder, a really good reminder. These flowers are really cute, so I thought I'd just kind of cut some of them out individually and just place them on the bottom, make a little pattern out of it. I couldn't do the whole thing, they're much too large, but if I just cut some little ones, I thought that would be really pretty. So I'll just go ahead and do that and place them on there.
I am on my way again. Can't believe it's been a year.
And there it is. I'm going to cover it with Mod Podge. And then I felt like it needed something, so I'm going to put a pretty little pink flower, or it's almost peach, at the very top and some greenery around it. The greenery is from Amazon, the flowers from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to snip off the ends and hot glue 2 pieces to each side. And that should do it. I think that's just enough to make it spring and festive and pretty, but the meaning of the sign is the part that really matters the most to me. Like I said, such a great reminder.
Riding through the winter night, thinking of my only wish. I don't need a perfect snowman.
I hope you like this one. It's definitely a favorite of mine. It was so easy to do, and I think it's meaningful too. It would also make a great gift. What do you think about this one?
Has a reason. Baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of.
For this Dollar Tree sock hack, I'm going to take 2 of these really pretty mauve colored socks, some popsicle sticks, and these wood slices, and you can get these on Amazon. I'm going to use my miter shears and just going to cut those little popsicle sticks because I'm creating ears. These are both going to be adorable little bunnies. So now I'm cutting out the heel because I want that white piece. You'll see we're going to use that for something in just a little while, so we're going to save those. Now I'm going to cut the middle section where there aren't any curves, and I'm going to trim off the white part as well. We're going to use this part of the sock to cover the bunny ears, which are the popsicle sticks. So we're going to glue the popsicle sticks onto this piece with some gaps between them, and then I'm going to start wrapping the sock around so both sides are covered by the sock, and then I'll snip them and just kind of hold them together with the hot glue. So you can see here I'm gluing the first piece that I'm going to fold over. Now once that dries, I will cut in between and leave just enough to be able to pull it to cover that edge. And then I'll snip either end so that I can fold those over and glue them as well. So that way it'll be fully covered with the sock. And this just gives us our cute little pink fuzzy bunny ears. The reason I use hot glue is because it dries so fast. You could use any glue you want, but with this, it's nice to have something that does dry quickly. Now you can see how that's going to go on the back side of the little, that will be the bunny, actually the bunny butt. So now I've got them all done, and I'm just going to glue 2 ears to each one on the back side. Now we're going to go back to those little white fuzzy heels we cut out, and I'm just going to kind of trim off the pointy ends. Now I'm going to fold it into itself and kind of squish it together to make a little bunny tail. And then I'll just use some glue to kind of secure the pieces in place, and we'll use the smooth side as what we see. So you see how I'm starting to fold it into itself, and then I'll add more glue and just kind of keep rolling it around until I get the little bunny tail. Now you could use, yarn and make pom-poms if you want, but I thought since I had the white from the sock, why not use it? And I'm going to cover up that hole in the wood slice with this, and so that works out perfectly. I'll do the same thing to the other one. Now I'm going to take a Jenga block for each one, and I'm using the brown ones, which I don't see anymore, but I still had some. And that becomes our little stand. Isn't this adorable? It was so easy, and I just loved making it. Let me know what you think. For this Dollar Tree fabric hack, I got this gorgeous pineapple fabric, and then I've got a Bible I have. It's a paperback, and it sure has gotten worn over the years. So I thought, why don't I make a cute little book cover for it using the fabric? Do you remember making book covers back in school? I don't know if they still do this, but back in the 60s and 70s, we had to use paper bags and make our own book covers. Let me know if you remember doing that. I actually used to kind of look forward to doing that. I thought it was fun. Anyway, I'm going to do this exactly how we used to do that. I'm going to cut a piece that will cover both sides and a little excess. Then I'm going to fold down the top to meet the size of the book, and I'm going to do that to the bottom as well. I'm going to tack it down with some glue. I'm using hot glue because it'll dry really fast, and I'm not making it clumpy. I'm just putting a very little bit on there. Now I'm just making sure it's the right size all the way across. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the book over, stick the 2 ends into the front cover, just like we used to do with our paper bags. And then I will close the book, and then I will tack down the top to the little folded over part. Once I have that done, I will turn the book over and do the exact same thing to the back cover. And add extra glue, trim off any stray pieces, and any other places that need to have a little more security, I will tack down with a little bit of glue. Now I've got this beautiful lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut a piece, and on the inside front cover, I'm going to hot glue that ribbon, but I'm going to leave a whole bunch. I'm going to pull it to the very furthest point of the book and then wrap it around and leave a piece, and that becomes our bookmark. Now I know it'll fit for the whole Bible, and that way it'll just work perfectly. And then I'm going to add one more little piece of that lace ribbon to the back because I thought it just looked better to have that end finished as well. Now I want to add one more piece because I love this lace ribbon. I'm going to put it kind of around the center of the book cover and just tuck it around the inside of the cover, hot glue it all the way, and, just secure that last piece on the inside. And this just kind of ties it all together. It's very simple. I wasn't going for anything fancy. I wanted to protect that cover because it's going to rip off eventually if I don't do something. And I thought, what a cute way to do this with the Dollar Tree fabric. I love how it turned out, and I love that it's practical too. Let me know if this is something you would try.
Every change has a reason.
For this Dollar Tree sock hack, I've got some pink and white socks, I've got some jute, or actually nautical rope, and then some wire jute, and then I've got this cute little tray I got a long time ago at the Target Dollar Spot, and these gorgeous flowers from Walmart. And then I've got a little bit left over from a Dollar Tree scarf. I'm going to start with the nautical rope, and I'm just going to hot glue it around kind of just underneath that top little edge of the tray, and I'll go all the way around. Then I'm going to take a piece of nautical rope. I'm just going to measure, 2 even pieces, and I'm going to do a lark's head knot around each of those handles. And that's where you just put a loop over and pull the 2 ends through. Now I'm going to take the wire jute, and I'm going to attach it through the lark's head knot there and leave a little excess on each end. And then I'm going to pull up the center to create a bigger kind of a handle than what there is, so it goes all the way across. And that's with the wired jute. Then I'm going to wrap the nautical rope that was remaining around that wire jute, and I'm going to hot glue it on. See, that's how it looks when you do both sides. Now I'm going to snip and attach the ends of the jute at the bottom by the lark's head knot and put it down with some hot glue to make sure it doesn't lift up. And then I'm going to take the whole thing and attach it to those other handles with the hot glue. So now I'm going to take 2 more pieces of the wire jute and I'm going to create 2 bunny ears, and I'm just kind of measuring on the top to see about the right size. And I'll make sure they're both the same, and then I'm going to take the socks and I'm going to stick that right in there to give me a bunny shape and kind of hold the edges in that curve so they don't fold into themselves. And then I'll add a little bit of hot glue towards the top of each one. I'm also going to use some foam board and just cut 2 pieces to stick inside to make sure that is even more sturdy. I wanted the round shape, that's why I used the wire jute, but I still want the stiffness for the whole thing, and that's why I'm using the foam board. Now I'm going to put that inside the sock, and then I realized it was too thick at the bottom, so I am going to snip the ends kind of down into a little point. I'm going to add a bunch of hot glue, and I'm going to attach that to the top of that handle that I made, and then I'm going to add more glue and wrap the bottom of the sock, or actually it's the top of the sock, around itself and hold it in place, and I will add some clips until it's dried. And I'll do the same thing with the other ear. So there you go. And then I also glued in between in the middle to hold them together a little bit more and put the clamps to hold them in place. Now it's still not standing up the way I want because, you know, the wire jute isn't real sturdy. So in a second, I'll show you how I fix that. But in the meantime, I'm going to tie a knot right in the middle of that scarf. And I'm just going to make a simple shoestring bow, kind of play with it till it looks the way I want. And then I'm going to hot glue it right between the bottom of the 2 ears. I'm going to leave those tails on there for now. We're going to need them. I've got 2 dowels from, I think they were from Dollar General or Walmart. I'm not sure. I'm going to take those dowels, I'm going to take the pointy side and push it through the inside of the sock going up towards the top. I'm going to do that with both of them. Once they're in place, I'm going to put the dowel down next to the handle and hot glue, a lot of hot glue right there. We're going to cover that up with the remaining tail from the scarf. Just going to kind of glue that around, tuck it in, and that will cover up the handle that wasn't so pretty, but it's just more functional. And then I'm just going to, bend down the ears, and now we've got this cute little bunny tray. I think it's adorable. You'll have to let me know what you think. This was one of those times where I was just thinking out of the box. For this Dollar Tree foam board hack, I've got another piece of foam board, and I'm just going to use this wooden piece to draw 2 rectangles. One will be longer than the other. I'm going to make a beautiful cross. And I thought because Easter is coming, this would be so perfect for that. So I'm just going to pull off my pieces now that I've cut them with my blade, trim off any little edges with the scissors. Sometimes that happens if your blade isn't super sharp, and I guess mine needs to be changed. One thing, be very careful cutting foam. It becomes more hollow in the middle if you're not real careful. I'm going to take my Nimbus colored chalk paint. It's a very light gray, and I'm going to use that for this cross. But first, I'm going to cut the piece out that overlaps because I want this to lay flat. So I'm just going to draw a pencil line where that is, and now I will go ahead and paint this cross in the Nimbus and dry it with my heat tool. Now I can assemble the cross and it will lay flat. I'm going to turn it over and put the glue on the back and use the masking tape like I have done before. It just works really well with the foam board because the inside can kind of get melty with the hot glue. So having the tape there is really the best option. And you see it bent over, so I did add a little more glue while it was bent open and then pushed it back together. And now I'm just going to add some more of that paint to the front. Bestie, I just want to thank you for being part of this community. I have met the most wonderful people. You should really get to know each other in the comments. Lots of people praying and just being so kind. We're going to add our hanger. I'm going to use that metal part of a clothespin. I'm going to take a very small piece of twine and put it through the little, I guess it's like a coil or a spring part. Hot glue that metal to the very top with the hook part sticking up, the part you could hang it with. And then I'll hot glue down the twine and add some masking tape with glue over that. And we'll have a very good seal, and this will hang up nicely. It's lightweight, not going to be a problem at all. Now I've got these half beads that I got a long time ago on Amazon, and when I run out, I will be getting more because I love them. Anyway, you can add them on with hot glue or any glue you want. I chose hot glue because it's such a lightweight project. And now I'm going to dry brush some of that steel chalk paint from Waverly around the edges and the sides of the cross. I just want to give it that, kind of distressed antique look, and I think it just looks beautiful with the natural wood beads on there. Now we're going to take the nimbus and just clean up the edges of the sides, I should say, of the cross. I'm going to add some greenery in the 4 little intersections there. I'll just glue them on from the back using the hot glue. And that's all there is to this project. I am going to add a little bit of masking tape just to make sure that that stays on there. I just like to give it more structure. I am in love with this one. I think it would be beautiful any time of the year, but especially around Easter, to remind us of what our Lord and Savior did for us.
Change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you.
Napkin hack. I've got these gorgeous floral napkins, and then I've got these eyeballs. They were back from Halloween. You could use ping pong balls for this too. I just ran out of them. I actually only needed 1 napkin for this. I started off with 2 thinking that I would need 2 of them. And then all those backs of the napkins that I keep pulling off, I saved them and I used it to kind of crinkle them up and stuff them inside this napkin. And I'm turning it into kind of like a little bag. Now you could put little candy treats in there, whatever. That's when you'd want to double up the napkin because otherwise it would break through. I'm going to take a little piece of jute and just tie a bow. This would be such an easy, fun one to do with the kids or grandkids. It's very simple, not a high skill craft at all. I'm going to split the top of that napkin into 2. They're going to become bunny ears, so I'm just kind of squeezing them up. And then I'm going to make that little bow right in the front. Now, if you were just putting treats in this, you could stop right here. I mean, that would be good enough. Everybody could know that this was a bunny. But I'm going to show you an extra little thing you can do. It's definitely optional, though. I'm going to take that ball or eyeball. I'm going to put the hot glue right on the eyeball part because we don't want to see that. And put that right there between the 2 ears. And I'm going to make a little bunny head. I'm just going to take a little bit of paint and the end of a paintbrush. And I'm going to make a little face. But right now I'm going to shape those ears as best I can, take a little hot glue to tack them down, and just try to make them look as much like bunny ears as possible. There's my chalkboard paint in black, and I'm just going to put on a couple eyes and then a little piece of the mouth. Off camera I did add a little pink nose. I thought I filmed that, but I guess I didn't. Now I've got this gold and white twine that was from Target. I'm going to cut 6 little teeny pieces. I'm just going to hot glue them on 3 on either side of the nose, and those are going to be the little bunny whiskers. And honestly, that is all there is to this one. It would be super cute, like I said, for the kiddos to put some candy in there. They could hand them out to their friends. You could use them as place markers at a table, just for fun. Again, super easy craft, nothing difficult, no big techniques, nothing like that. But I like to include that every once in a while just for fun. Let me know what you think.
Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you.
For this Dollar Tree doily hack, I've got this gorgeous little canister from the Dollar Tree. It is so beautiful with that crystal looking top. And I've got a small doily, which comes in that packet with so many different sizes. I'm going to draw some lines to create what will become angel wings. We're going to make the most beautiful little angel. And I'm just going to cut those pieces out, and I'm going to leave a little strip in the middle so that I have something to attach the wings to the glass canister with. This is such an easy project. So now I'm just going to take some Beacon Fabric Tack glue. I decided not to use hot glue because I didn't want it to get clumpy. And I'm going to put some of the glue on the doily, and I'm just going to attach it to that base of the little canister. This has got to be one of the easiest. You could do this with kids or grandkids. It's that easy. Just going to press that on there, and then I'm going to take this gold and white twine that I got at Target a long time ago, and I'm just going to wrap it around that base, and I'm going to make a cute little shoestring bow. This is so easy. I know I've already said that, but it's ridiculous just how easy it is. And it's really very beautiful.
This summer I'll be by your side. I wonder that you can.
I'm kind of adjusting my bow here because when you first make one, it's never the exact size you wanted it to be. And I'm going to make sure that the tails that are hanging kind of nice and flat, so I pulled it underneath the little part that's tied around. Now I'm going to add just a little dot of glue to hold that bow right in the center there. Then I'm just going to trim off the excess on the bottom of the tails. I do want it to hang down. And you know what? That is it. That's just how easy this one is. And I think it came out beautiful. And it took just minutes to make. Let me know what you think.
Every change has a reason.
Frame from the Dollar Tree, 8x10. And then I've got a little piece of cardboard that I'm going to use my Cricut just to kind of score out a shape of a bunny, because, you know, freehanding it won't come out. It is nice. So I just ran it through, and now I'm just going to cut it out. It didn't go all the way through the cardboard. I don't have the right blade for that. I'm going to take everything out of my frame, you know, the backing and the glass and so forth, so that I can start working on what I'm going to do to the frame. I decided to use my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, which I got from Amazon, to paint the frame. I'm just going to go around and paint it. I'm not trying to get like a very solid coverage because I will be distressing it. So I've done the whole entire front, sides, and the back. Now I'm going to take the inside portion that has the stand on it, and I'm going to figure out with some paint sticks that I also got at Amazon how many I need to actually fit across the whole thing and create some kind of faux shiplap planks. Now I'm going to tape them all together, and I used my square to make sure they were all even. That way when I put them in my little, you know, box miter saw, they'll stick together and I can cut them all at one time. You see how nicely that's happening? And then I'm just going to sand the ends, and I'm going to use my Aleene's Quick Dry Tacky Glue, which I'm really liking, by the way. I ordered that on Amazon as well. And I'm just going to glue each one of the planks, and they fit perfectly now on there. And all I have to do at the end is just sand around the edges just a teeny bit. I'm going to use my little Dollar Tree clamps to hold them in place. And there they are. Now I'm going to sand the entire surface with my little sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use some burnt umber acrylic paint from Apple Barrel and mix it with some water, and I'm going to use a little foam brush, and I'm just going to apply it across the whole thing and basically treat it like a stain. And I didn't even rub it off because it was just fine the way it was. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that Rust-Oleum white linen chalk paint, and I'm just going to dry brush across the top. Now I've got this cute piece of material from many years ago. I'm just going to cut a smaller piece, and I'm going to use my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue, which is great for fabric. I like that on Amazon too. And I'm going to apply that to the bunny, and I'm going to put my fabric right on it. I'm going to take my brayer, and I'm going to roll right over the top of that and make sure it's adhering really well. And I'll take some scissors and cut it out. And I'll use a blade for any little pieces I couldn't get with the scissors. Now I am going to take that white paint again, and I'm just going to go around the edges and make it bleed a little over onto the front. I'm going to hot glue the bunny right onto the middle of my planks, and then I'm going to take some Mod Podge. I'm going to use matte. I'm just going to do the wood planks. Now I didn't want to do it before the bunny was on because I didn't think the bunny would stick as well. And all I have to do now is put it in the frame. But I decided I still wanted to distress that frame, so I just take a nail file and go all the way around. You guys, this is so easy. It came out so cute, very rustic, and I really love it. One of the great things about this is you can use any fabric or scrapbook paper or napkins. If you like, you could paint it any color and just customize it to your decor. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Wooden eggs off of Amazon, and I'm just painting them white using some painter's tape to hold them in place while I paint them, and I used primer to do it. And then I'm just drying them off, and I'm going to take some black paint and a toothbrush, and I'm just going to spray them to get that speckled look. And it comes out so cool, but let me tell you, it is so messy. You do need a firm bristled type of a brush. And there you can see the mess that I made all over my hands and the table, but it cleans up so easily. It's worth it. I printed out on my Cricut a bunch of little words that I thought really fit with Easter, and I used a font that kind of looks like Ray Dunn, and I'm just putting them on each of the eggs, and I'm burnishing them on so that the little transfers will work. You could use Dollar Tree stickers, you could write this, whatever you want. It's so easy. You don't have to have a Cricut to do this one. And look how adorable this egg turns out. And then, I did all the rest of them too. I love this so much. And then I've got this little tag from the Dollar Tree, and then I printed out something else on my Cricut that says "He is risen" in that same font. And I'm just going to go ahead and transfer it right on there. Again, you can use stickers, you could write this, whatever you want to do. And it's adorable. I have this basket and I put some greenery in it and a little one of those microfiber little mop things from the Dollar Tree. And I just glued on the tag to the very front. I arranged the little eggs in there. Aren't they cute? And then I just took some greenery and I kind of cut it off the pick and just arranged it with some twine in the middle. Actually, I think that's nautical rope. And then I'm going to put a little lavender in there and hot glue it. And I'm just going to wrap it all up. And that's what's going to cover the hole on my tag because I couldn't think of anything else to do. And I thought this was really pretty. And so that's what I did. Like I said, this one is so easy and it comes out beautiful. I love it. If it's not my favorite, it's my second favorite. And there's my little kind of bow looking thing. And I'm just going to glue it right to the top there with some hot glue. And then I'm going to clamp it so the whole thing stays. Let me know what you think of this one. Ragdoll type of things, and I'm gonna make a kind of a ragdoll bunny. So I freehanded this one, that's why it's not so great. But anyway, I cut it out on a piece of cardboard. I'm on a piece of a drop cloth, and that gives it that kind of rag feel. I'm just gonna trace the shape around it, and then I'm going to cut it out. And it's doubled over, by the way, because I do need two pieces. We're gonna make it kind of a plushie. And then you see I cut around the lines a little because those are gonna be sort of like my glue seams. I'm not gonna sew this, but you most certainly can. I just didn't feel like it. I'm gonna use this pillow stuffing I have right here, and I'm going to start gluing from the bottom because those are the wider, bigger pieces, and I think it'll make it a lot easier than starting with the skinny little ears. And so once I get enough of the bottom and the sides glued, I'm going to start stuffing very gently, just little pieces at a time, pushing around until I get it to the thickness that I want. And I'm not going for anything super thick, just a little stuffing. And now I'm going to add a little bit of that stuffing and just go little by little, glue a little more on the sides, add a little more stuffing, all the way up to the top. And then I'll slow down a little bit to show you how I do the ears. Now for the ears, I'm going to pull out some little pieces of the stuffing and kind of roll them a little bit so that the bottom is a little wider than the top. That's kind of how the ears are shaped. And then I'm going to stuff it in. I only glued one side so far of that one ear, and I'm going to push it in, and then I will glue down the other side. And I'll repeat the same thing on the other ear and make sure that little spot in between the two ears is sealed as well. And I really do shove that stuffing in there so I can get to the two ends, otherwise you'll glue the stuffing. And there it is. And now I'm going to take my little baby scissors and I'm just going to cut little teeny slits around the side so that it frays. I took another piece of that scrap material that I'd cut off and I'm creating a little apron. And so it wasn't big enough to just do it outright. So I took two pieces and I'm just kind of gluing down the seams in the middle. You see the little straps around the side, and where that seam is, that's going to be kind of right where the bunny's tummy meets in the middle. I'm going to glue that down, and once I have that glued down except for the very top, which will have an opening, it's almost like a front pocket even though it looks like an apron, then I'm just going to tie the little straps in the back into a knot, and I'll just tack those down with a little teeny bit of hot glue so they don't flop around. Now I've got these buttons from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to find one that I like. I narrowed it down to 3, and then I finally picked this one. And then I'm just going to put some hot glue on it, a generous amount, and I'm going to put it right on the little bunny's face. I'm only going to do one side of this bunny. I'm going to take this orange burlap from the Dollar Tree and kind of just keep folding it until I make like what looks like a carrot shape. And then I'm going to trim it when I'm done and make it really look like more of a carrot shape. Then I'm going to take this green twine that I have. I think it's from the Dollar Tree. I'm not actually sure. And I'm going to wrap it around my fingers several times and cut one side open and then glue the other side kind of to itself. And that will make the greenery that comes out of the carrot. I'm going to do the same thing with a little bit of jute twine because I want it to be kind of a combination of the green and the tan kind of jute color. And see how it's looking like a carrot now. And this is, I'm not going to do it as much with the jute. I just want to add a little accent in there. And I'm gluing them together. And then I'm going to put a little huckle on the back of the carrot, attach the greenery, and then I cut a little triangle to cover that up, put that right on there. And then I'm just going to trim the carrot till it's the size that I want. I'm going to make 3 carrots. They came out really cute and they were super easy to make. And I'm just going to test it out and see how it fits in the pocket. And there they are. Now I'm going to take this mop head, and it's like 4 strands in one, and I'm going to separate them, wrap around my finger. I'm going to make not a full pom-pom, but kind of like a partial pom-pom. So otherwise I would have made it way thicker if it was a full pom-pom. But after I wrap it around a ton of times, keep adding more pieces, I just put 1 string in the middle and then tie it around one little end. Then I trim that piece and I just start trimming the little pom-pom, like giving it a haircut. This is going to be my bunny tail. And I thought that was so cute. I'm going to cut out a little like triangle of the back end of the bunny where you would have it, and there's a little hole there now, and I'm just going to kind of shove the bunny tail in there and glue it, and that worked perfectly. And now there are the carrots. I just love this little bunny. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments, and I really hope you guys like it too. DIY, I'm using Jenga blocks, or actually tumbling tower blocks, and some twine from the Dollar Tree and some white chalk paint. I'm just going to paint all of the blocks, put them on some painter's tape, and do all the sides, dry them off, and I'm not going to show you all of that because it takes forever. Anyway, there they are. They're all painted, and then I'm going to add some Mod Podge to them. And then I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to start writing words that are associated with Easter from a spiritual standpoint. And so I write that on all of them, just on one side. And then I'm going to take a very, very fine tip art brush and some black acrylic apple barrel paint. And I'm going to just go over what I wrote in pencil. And you really need a fine point brush for this, otherwise it's almost impossible. And so I do that with all of them. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to take my twine. I'm going to add some beads to the end. And then I'm going to lay it out. And I'm going to start hot gluing the little blocks on to the twine. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I'm going to do it to all of them and then add a bead in between each one and beads at the end, and then make a little loop and a knot. And that's it, you guys. It's a beautiful Easter garland that you can add to, a greenery garland, or put it on a tray, or put it on a shelf. It's beautiful. This could not get any easier. I mean, seriously, it's so easy to do this, and I hope you love it too. And a piece of a sock, and I wish I had tube socks. It would have been so much better. Then I'm going to use some burnt umber paint by Apple Barrel and the Fawn Waverly chalk paint. I'm going to mix those two together, take a baby wipe and rub it all over the socks because I really want it to look kind of like a worn out rag. And I didn't want to use the drop cloth because then I would have to deal with all the ends, but as a sock it's already solid. And I'm just pouring some rice in there. I'm just using a little bucket and rolling the top over to make it easier. When I get the first section the way I want it, I'm going to tie some twine around it, twice, and make it really secure, and then cut off the ends. Then I'm going to add some more rice. Again, if I'd had a tube sock, what's going to happen next would have been so much better. So see that little teeny piece that was left? I needed more. So I had to add another piece of sock, kind of tie it on, and then cut it down the middle to make bunny ears. So imagine if it had been a tube sock. You would have had the ears built in already, and this would have been a much easier process. So if you make this, definitely use a tube sock, okay? I didn't have one. It didn't occur to me till I was already this far. Anyway, so now I'm cutting the ears, and you see I've got that big bunch in the middle there. I'm going to have to deal with that later, but I will. I'm going to trim them so they'll be kind of thinner. And then what I'm going to do is fold over as much as I can and hot glue kind of pieces down to cover where that extra piece was attached so you won't see it. And then I'm kind of putting a little bit of hot glue between the ears to hold them together. I'm going to add a couple of buttons from the Dollar Tree to the center for his little bunny outfit. Then I've got this like poly rope from the Dollar Tree in the automotive section. It's red, and I'm just going to kind of wrap it around itself and cut it and hot glue it and make a little nose. Then I'm going to take some twine, and I'm just literally going to add like 3 whiskers on each side. Just hot glue that right down. Then I'm going to take some scrap drop cloth that I had, and I'm going to make a little pocket. And I'm going to hot glue the pocket right onto the side of my little sock bunny. And there's my pocket once I get the last side attached. Obviously you can sew these kind of things if you want, but this is just so easy to do with hot glue. It's not like it's gonna carry anything heavy. I'm using a jot marker, and I am making the little bunny mouth, and it doesn't go on as nice as I want. And I'm going to also make the bunny eyes. So I end up taking a little bit of black apple barrel paint and filling in with a very fine art brush. And then I'm going to use a little bit of white apple barrel paint and make the little part of the eyeballs. Just kind of dab it on there. And then I've got a little piece of sock that was left over, and I kind of cut it into a triangle. And I'm just going to roll it onto itself and hot glue it and make a carrot shape. And then I've got some orange yarn from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to wrap it around, hot gluing it as I go, and then wrap it up around the top to cover all of the sock. And once I have that all glued down, I'm going to take some of the green twine that I have, and I'm going to wrap that around my fingers many times. Doesn't matter, it's up to you how much greenery you want. I'm just going to cut one end, hot glue the other end to itself, and then hot glue it directly to the top of the carrot, and that makes its little greenery. And I really like how this carrot turned out. Then I've got some buffalo check ribbon. I'm going to make it a little awareness type ribbon, and then I'm just going to hot glue it in the center so it will stay in place. And then I'm going to take another little piece of plaid black and white ribbon. I'm just going to hot glue that around the center, give it a cute little centerpiece. And now I got to deal with that top of the bunny. So I'm going to start rolling it up and create kind of like seams. And I'm just hot gluing as I go. And now you won't see so much. I mean, you see it, but the bow's going to cover it pretty well. And that's the best I could do. Like I said, you really need a tube sock for this one. I still think it came out so cute, and I really love it. I would love to hear what you think about this one down in the comments. Got at the Dollar Tree, and it has some sparkles on it, so I'm sanding it off, and then I'm going to use my little handy dandy ladybug vacuum to clean it up, and I'll put a link down in the description. Super cheap and very helpful to have. And now I'm just wiping away all the dust and cleaning it off so that I can prepare to turn this into a really cute Easter sign. The first thing I'm going to do is use my Waverly Antique wax, and I'm going to stain the frame around the picture. Put the wax on, and then I wipe the excess away with a paper towel, and that gives me the look that I'm going for. I do end up changing this later, but at the time I didn't know I was going to, so hence the staining. I'm going to be sure and get the edges too, because you will see that from the side, and I want to make sure that it all looks like it was meant to be stained that color on the entire frame. I'm going to put some masking tape along the inside of the frame because I'm going to be painting the face of this picture, and I want to protect the frame that I just finished staining. I'm using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Celery. I love that color so much. I like it as a good base for this. I'm going to cover the whole thing with 2 coats, and that just does the job perfectly. I'm going to remove the tape, and I'm going to add a top coat of the Waverly wax in white, and it just blends so nice with that celery, and it's like sealing it because it's got that shimmer kind of slippery feeling to it, and I just love how the celery peeks through. Now, if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know I love these pop-up stickers. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to place them all the way around, starting in the corners. So I, try to make them the same on each of the opposing sides. And once I get them on, I'm going to use that same Waverly white wax and cover them with several coats. And oh my gosh, it gets rid of the color that's on there, but it makes it look like there is like an embellishment on the frame. It was like it was always there. And I love that look so much. It's very farmhouse. I don't want just Easter eggs and bunnies and things like that for Easter, because Easter is all about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So I used my Cricut and I designed a crown that I want to put on there, a crown of thorns. And then I love when we say on Easter, He is risen indeed. And I just love that idea for a sign. So it's right there to remind us. And I'm using this masking tape that I ordered on Amazon for transfer tape, and it's so much less expensive than the other kind, and it works really well, and it's not like overly sticky like the kind you have to rub on your pant leg first to make it less sticky. And now I'm just positioning them on there. I'm going to use a little bit of tape as a guide. Literally, you can do this any way you want. If you don't have a cutting machine, you can use the stickers from the Dollar Tree, rub-on transfers, you can write it, you can use carbon paper and print something out from the computer. So I just want to let you know there's so many options if you don't have a cutting machine. And I'm using gold vinyl, which I thought looked really good on this sign with the kind of blonde frame and then the green peeking through with also the wax on top of it. I just love it. It's kind of neutral, but it's also with the gold, it adds just a little punch. I decided to add a little bit of the gold metallic paint, just like a dry brush effect, where I put a teeny bit on my brush, rub most of it off, and then just go around the edges. And I really love how that turned out. I hope you like this. It means a lot to me. Actually, two of them. One has the metal bunny on it, which I need the bunny, but right now I don't need the sign, so I'll put that aside and I'll take the bunny for this particular DIY. And then that little welcome sign I'm going to use, I'm going to take off the plastic, paint the inside with a white acrylic paint because I want to get some pretty good coverage. You may wonder why I didn't use any painter's tape on this. I'm wondering that too now that I'm watching it back. I was trying to be careful, but I'm not very careful. So I did get paint on stuff, and now I'm putting Celery. It's a chalk paint color from Waverly over the top, and I really love that. And that becomes like the second coat that really covers the words. And then I thought, now I'm going to see how the bunny's going to fit on there, and I realized I probably need to paint that little frame white. Well, I took out my Arteza paint markers and I did that, but it shows the little marks like where you write. So I thought, okay, I'll just make that my base coat and then I'll go get my white paint out again and I'll touch that up. So I'm just using the pen to get the edges too, because that is a little easier than a brush. And now I'm going to go ahead and cover it so it looks really good. I feel like I did a lot of things on this one that took longer than they should have. Do you guys ever do that? I mean, just you think, oh, I'm going to do this and that, and then you make it so much worse by the choices that you make. Anyway, maybe it's just me, but that's what I did on this one. It should have gone way faster. So don't do what I did. Just paint it white to begin with, or put tape on it. See how I just got white on the green? Oh my gosh, Lisa, you need to use tape. It does turn out really cute, and I'm really happy with it overall. Again, tape would have been super nice, and I have some, so there's really no good excuse. Now that I have this all painted, I'm going to attach the bunny with some hot glue right over the top. And I just think it turns out super cute. So after all that, I still really love it. I hope you do too. Rustic about an old rugged cross, and that's what I'm going to make. I had a bunch of sticks that my husband was kind enough to gather for me before the winter started, and I've been saving them for, whatever I might want to use them for. So I'm gathering the same size sticks for the long side of the cross, and then I'm going to cut some to make the short side of the cross. And this is just so fun. I mean, I'm just playing with sticks. They're free. They came from outside. So now I'm going to use my tin snips and just try to cut off any knobs that are, distracting, just, trying to get the pieces to a similar size. I'm not going for like an exact. I don't mind if some of the pieces stick out a little bit because this is rustic and it's rugged. And I just love the whole concept of this. Now that I have my 2 little stacks of sticks, easy for me to say, I'm going to use some jute twine and I'm going to tie just before the ends. So like, I don't know, an inch or so before each end. And I'm going to hot glue it down and I'm going to wrap it around so that it holds nice and sturdy. And then I'm going to add some additional hot glue here and there to make sure that it stays in place, like that the middle sticks don't slide out. I'm going to do this on each end of the 2 stacks. So that's 4 different spots that I'm going to do this. And it just adds to the farmhouse rustic look of it. And it's just, I love it, you guys. I really do. I mean, talk about a cost-effective DIY, but it's beautiful. It's just so natural and beautiful. And I cannot wait for this to be up in my house. I'm super excited. And now I'm moving on to the short stack, which is the cross part of the cross, or should I say the horizontal part of the cross. I'm going to do the exact same thing to this one that I did to the other one. Now it's time to assemble my cross, and the way I'm going to do that is using that same twine. And I don't think I said it earlier, but this twine is from Walmart. I'm going to pull it under and I'm going to tie a knot around diagonally, and then I'm going to continue to wrap it around back and forth on each angle and then even around the 2 sides to get a really nice secure hold. And I'm going to hot glue it down, and just like I did with the other ones, look for any loose spots and add a little dab of hot glue to hold it in place. I want it to be very secure. I don't want this to go anywhere, and I am just loving this one, you guys. It's just peaceful. It's the cross. I mean, what it represents, and what Jesus did for us by being on that cross. It was just very cool to make this. I have this gorgeous burlap ribbon with lace over the middle from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it from around the back of the tall side of the cross and then over the top of the horizontal pieces, kind of like a shroud. I mean, maybe you've seen people wrap things around a cross like this before, but I just thought it was just the perfect touch. It kept it farmhouse rustic, and it just, I don't know, you guys, I really love this one. I don't know what else to say. Let me know what you think. I'm just so excited. I know my husband's going to want it. I just know I'm never going to see it again. Well, I shouldn't say that. He'll put it in his office, and that's where I'll see it again. Fun DIY. I am going to use this tall cylinder vase from the Dollar Tree. some glitter Easter eggs, some scatter foam for Easter, and I've got a carrot there and I don't know if I end up using it or not. And then I've also got this really cute kind of twine garland from the Dollar Tree that's got little gold, little berry type flowery things on it. I never know what to call those. Anyway, super cute. And I'm just literally going to put everything in the vase that will fit, kind of crunch it in there and alternate between the eggs and the scatter foam so that it's kind of a nice mixture. What I'm looking for is something super fun, colorful, and festive. I have these two really cute grass picks that have little butterflies up on the top from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna scoot them in there as best I can. I really didn't want to add a lot of colorful flowers because there's so much color already in the vase itself. So I thought the tall grass coming out with the butterflies would be super cute and feel a lot like an Easter type piece of decor. What do you guys think? This was easy. You could do this with your kids. You could do this, even if you're not crafty, you could do this. This was just filling the vase up. It was super easy, you guys. And sometimes it's fun to do projects like that, where you don't have to mix paints and use funny techniques and just kind of have fun. And then I bent some of the grass out just to give it a little more interest and have, you know, different heights and things going on. This is one of those crafts where you could pretty much do whatever you want and make it look however it would fit best in your home. Let me know in the comments how you would decorate this. Fall, and I decided I'm going to repurpose it. I'm going to remove the fall florals, and now I'm going to add some really pretty spring and Easter type flowers and some greenery. And literally, it's just so easy because I wrapped it in nautical rope. It's so easy to attach, and you can use hot glue. You don't have to. A lot of it will just stick right in between the pieces of nautical rope. And I'm just going to arrange the different florals just the way I like it. You know, first I'm going to add the greenery around, and then I'm going to put different colored flowers in there. And you can do this any way you like, whatever colors fit your decor, whatever you like. I was just going for super springy, festive, vibrant colors. I'll put a link to the video where I originally made this wreath down in the description box in case you want to see, you know, what I started with and how it got to the point where it starts in this video. You guys, I'm in love with these little carrots, as you can tell. So I decided to add some to this wreath. I just think they are so cute, and I just love the bright orange color. So I added 4 to the bottom of the wreath, and they're just so cute. I cannot get enough of these carrots. This little grass pig that I got at Dollar Tree has butterflies in it. So I cut out 3 of the butterflies and I put the purple one in the center between the carrots and the 2 pink ones on the sides of the wreath. And I just love the extra little touch. It's so spring and Easter. I have this cute little wire garland from the Dollar Tree, and it's got little white, I don't know if they're berries or flowers on it, and I just had a little bit left over, so I wrapped a little bit on each side, and I just thought it added a nice little touch, and again, really just created that festive Easter spring feel that I was going for. I love how this turned out, and I hope you guys like it. I can't wait to hang it on my door. Bubble signs that Dollar Tree has, and I'm just going to draw a little line and use my blade, utility knife I guess, and I'm going to get rid of the little point at the bottom. I want it to look like the body of an Easter bunny. This one is going to be a cute bunny one. And then I also have this other sign from Dollar Tree that had different shapes on it. It had Easter eggs and different things, and I turned one of them into a head for the bunny, and I just took the whole thing apart. And then I also have that headband with the bunny ears, and I'm going to use that as well. So I'm hot gluing the 2 pieces together. I'm going to paint it with the Waverly chalk paint in plaster. I'm going to do 2 coats to cover it completely. I found a little bunny face online, and so I'm just looking at my phone and I'm freehanding the eyes and the mouth and the nose. And once I do that, I'm going to take my Arteza black paint marker and I'm going to go ahead and draw in the eyes. And so, or actually the eye, I only have one because it's a side view. It was so easy and it actually looks really cute. So don't be intimidated by trying to do something like this. It's actually not that hard. Dollar Tree sells these little tools, the one I'm holding. I think they're for scoring, but I use them for very precise painting like this because it's like a little point, but it's round, you know, like a ball tip. And so it works really well if you can find them in the Crafter Square section. I was so excited. I finally found the color ballet slipper from the Waverly chalk paint at Walmart. I've been looking for it for a long time. So I'm doing the nose with that color. It's so cute. And then I'm going to touch up where I went over the line a little bit. And afterwards, I'm going to use ballet slipper again to make the cute little rosy cheeks. I'm also going to use ballet slipper like dry brushing around the edges of the bunny because I just wanted a little bit of pink in there and I just love the way it looked. Now I'm going to attach the little bunny ears. I'm going to stretch it out a bit, and then I'm going to hot glue it directly onto the head. And it looks so cute, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm going to use one of these microfiber dust pads from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut out a little circle and make a fuzzy tail for the bunny. And that was just perfect. I'm also going to use this gray and white mop head, and I'm going to start creating a circle with them, kind of like, you know, attaching them around the sides of itself. And I'm going to use hot glue, and those will be the 2 little feet that you see on the one side. And I'm just looking for some different textures, and I actually really liked the way that came out. It was super easy, and I had lots of extra ones. I have one of those little baby carrots from the Dollar Tree. And I just put it there like he was holding it. And now I'm going to take some floral pics from Dollar Tree, just really vibrant, beautiful colors. And I'm going to cut off the little pieces. And I'm going to create a little bouquet that I'm going to wrap in some ribbon that I got, I believe at Walmart. Really pretty burlap ribbon with lace on it. And I'm just going to hot glue that directly to the center of the bunny. I'm going to get some jute twine and I'm going to make a cute little bow, the kind where you just wrap it around your fingers a bunch of times, tie the center, and then snip the loops. I'm also going to fill in the little hole above the eye with some hot glue and then paint it with the plaster. Super easy, you guys. I mean, seriously, this was such an easy one and it came out so cute, so festive. I'm just so happy with how it turned out. You'll have to tell me what you think. I really love it. Craft. I found this sign at the Dollar Tree with all the little eggs and a bunny and a chick on it, and I'm going to use the eggs and the bunny. I'm just going to rip the pieces apart. It came apart super easy. And I also found this pretty basket at the Dollar Tree, and then I've got these big round kind of, I don't know what you call those florals, but they're huge, and I cut 3 of them and just set them in the basket. Didn't even need foam or anything. They fit in there perfectly. I'm just arranging the leaves, and then I'm going to leave all of these eggs just as they are because they're super cute, and I just think there's no reason to change them. And I'm going to hot glue them to the front and position them kind of into a fun little design. And this is so easy, you guys. This one, you don't have to do any special techniques, no painting, yay. No mess to clean up, just hot glue, and that's it. You guys, Easter is such a special time of the year. It's a time for us to remember that the Savior is there for us, that He came back and that He rose again. And oh my gosh, there's so much hope in that, so much eternal hope. And I just pray that every one of you fully receives the gift that He has given you. Because of the way that I hot glued the eggs on, there was a little gap between 2 of them. So I just took a little piece of a shim and put it in between, and that will keep that nice and solid. And that way, you know, I won't accidentally break it if I move it around. I'm going to add the little bunny just behind the very top of the egg, so he's just kind of peeking out. And I just think it's so cute. I mean, I could have painted it and done stuff to it, but I think it was cute the way it was. And I have this little heart tag that's like a little chalkboard surface, and I'm using one of my Arteza paint markers, and I'm just writing Happy Easter. Not super fancy, just, you know, regular capital letters. And I'm going to put a really pretty little turquoise piece of ribbon in there and hang it on the bunny. I'm just going to add a little teeny bit of hot glue to keep the heart where I want it to sit, and that'll just hold it nice and secure. I have this green twine, and I honestly can't remember if it's from Dollar Tree or Walmart, but it's one of those 2. And I'm literally just going to wrap it around 2 fingers and make one of those little simple bows where you tie off the middle. This one I'm not going to cut open the loops though. I think it looks really cute. It's almost going to look like the bunny has a bow tie. This was such a fun and easy little centerpiece to make, just to have a nice festive Easter table. Let me know what you think in the comments. Easy Easter garland. I found this yarn at Walmart, and I have this little tool that I created out of cardboard, and I put a little skewer stick on there to hold it straight, and then I cut out a notch and I made tassels with it. Now I have a video where I really go slow and I take my time explaining it, so I'm going to link that up in the cards and also down in the description box. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time right now explaining how to make the tassels, because I just as soon have you go to that video where it's so much more clear. But I am making quite a few of these tassels, and honestly, the amount that you make will depend on how long you want your garland to be and how you want to create your own pattern. I chose to make tassels with this yarn and another kind of twine. This yarn was super thin, so when I made the tassel, I wrapped it around about 30 times. On the green twine, it's much thicker, so I only wrapped it around 15 times because it was really twice as thick as the yarn. I also decided to use the regular jute twine and do the tie around the top of the tassel with that, just to kind of make it look a little different. So instead of using the green, I'm using the regular one. You could really do this with any color you want, anything that speaks Easter to you. It's your garland and you can be as creative as you want. Now I'm going to get some of my beads. I'm going to use all different sizes, and I'm going to put them on a skewer to paint them. There are so many different ways you can do this. I've just found this to be a pretty easy way. And then I stick the skewer into a piece of foam so it stays in place, and I just hold the top and twist it while I'm painting it. I have also seen people put them in a little bowl with paint and a little bit of water and toss them around. Honestly, whatever works just to get them painted. I'm using the maize color Waverly chalk paint for the first section of beads, and then I'm going to use a couple other colors. This one is Celery, by the way, that I'm painting these, and they're different sizes. I buy the beads on Amazon. I'll put a link in my description to show you the ones I bought. They're not always the same ones that are available, but they're similar. Much cheaper for a huge amount of beads in different sizes. Also, you get to pick the pattern you want to make. So how many beads you use and which ones will be up to you. Now I'm also painting the other size there in plaster, and I'm going to mix them all up, and I'm kind of working on that pattern that I'm deciding on. And I'm going to use the jute twine to string them all up. Again, this part is individual, whatever you like. I wanted mine to look like they could go into the whole time of spring, not just Easter. So I kind of didn't do specific Easter things. I just tried to pick some colors that I thought would work for both. There's a couple options to make stringing the beads and the garland easier, and you can either use like a needle, a very large needle, or you can wrap a little teeny bit of tape around the end of your twine and make it a little bit more firm and tight, and then it will get into the holes of even the smallest beads. What you're seeing me do here was try to get one of my little knots out. I was knotting between different rows of beads, or patterns of beads I should say, and I used the pointy end of a skewer to help me get in there. I have a tendency to pull my knots really tight, and even when I'm not sure if they're going to stay, so I have to try to remember to keep them looser until I'm positive where I want to put them. This was just a really super simple garland that you could use, and you can make them with cute little things hanging on them besides tassels and beads, or you could just have one thing at the end, whatever you like. I hope you guys like this one, and I hope that you get to make one that fits perfectly in your home. Another super easy DIY. This little ceramic sign I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use it to put on a tiered tray because it's just the perfect size for that. I'm going to use my Arteza paint markers, and I'm just priming one right now because I don't think I've used that color before. You can put whatever you want on your sign. I'm going to literally have one side say Easter wishes, and then put some little Easter eggs on it. And on the other side, it's gonna say bunny kisses. It's gonna be super easy, super cute. I'm just handwriting it. I could have used my Cricut, I could have used stickers, but you know what? I wanted to make it very specific, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time. I definitely didn't want to spend a lot of money, and this was an easy way to do it. And literally, this cost me $1, plus the fact that I already had the markers. So if you want to factor in a couple cents for the use of those, that's it. You could put whatever you want. You could make these kind of little signs for every season and switch them out on your little tiered trays. Just a cute little addition to have, something that's super colorful. And if you didn't know, the Arteza markers come with a little tweezers. You see me using it there. And if you pull out the tips, one side is wider and one is pointy for more, detailed work. And I didn't learn that till I'd had them for a long time. So that was something kind of cool to find out. And I really like that because I can write those little teeny spots with the pointy side. And this video is not sponsored by Arteza. These markers were a gift from my son, my birthday last July, and I'm really enjoying them. I am freehanding a bunny. Try not to laugh too hard at my bunny. I'm not an artist by any means, but I figured, I'll kind of make a little bunny shape, and hopefully you guys will know that's what it is when you see it. I'm going to add a little ribbon around one side. Well, it's around the whole thing, but I'll make the little tie in the front. On the Easter Wishes side, it's a ribbon I got at Dollar Tree that I thought was very bright and festive. And then on the other side, I'm just going to use a little bit of that green twine that I used in the garland. And I'm going to have that one facing on the other side because as a two-sided little sign, I want them both to look cute. For this one, I'm just going to make a cute little bow, wrapping some twine around my fingers and then tying it off in the middle. Super simple, nothing fancy. I hope this gives you some cute ideas for things that you can do for Easter or even spring. And hopefully this will be something you might want to add to one of your tiered trays, and you can customize it any way that you like. It's super fun, and let me know in the comments what you think or what you might do instead. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye!